Hey guys, Richard here. It's my privilege to be sharing the thought of the day with you today. I'm going to be reading from John chapter 11, and Shaylee actually shared from the same chapter a few days ago, talking about how God is with us in our process and in our grieving, which is so good and so important. I'm going to be focusing on a few different aspects from this passage, but let me give you some context. So we start off with the beginning of chapter 11 with Lazarus being sick. And Mary and Martha, his two sisters, they're all good friends of Jesus, and they send to Jesus and they say, "Lord, please will you come because our brother Lazarus is sick." So they want Jesus to heal Lazarus. Jesus has this response, which he says to his disciples, "This sickness is not to end in death, but for the glory of God, so that the Son of God may be glorified by it." Jesus says that, and then he waits 2 days before going to see Lazarus, and by the time he gets there, Lazarus has died. Martha meets Jesus when he arrives and tells him that Lazarus has been in the tomb for 4 days. So 4 days in Jewish culture, that's when you're like dead. They believed that after 4 days, the body would start to decompose. So in Mary and Martha's eyes, this is completely beyond hope. Martha says to the Lord when he arrives, "Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died." Jesus says to her, "Your brother will rise again." And she has a response of kind of like, "Yes, I know he'll rise again on the last day." She has no idea what Jesus is actually capable of doing. We move down the passage, verse 38. We see Jesus asking them to roll the stone away from the tomb. Again, Martha says, "Lord, there's going to be a smell. He's been in there for 4 days. Like he is gone. It's over." Jesus says, "Did I not say to you that if you believe, you will see the glory of God?" And then they roll the stone away. Jesus prays. He says, "Lazarus, come forth." And the man, Lazarus, walks out of the tomb, completely well and risen from the dead. Later down in the passage, in verse 48, it says, if the Pharisees are saying, "If we let Jesus go on like this, all men will believe in him, and the Romans will come and take away both our place in the nation, but all men will believe in him." So, a couple things from this passage. Firstly, the Lord's response is, this sickness is not to end in death. So, but then Lazarus does die. So what is he saying? Well, he said the sickness would not end in death. So death is not the end. He didn't say that there wouldn't be a death. So my question is, could there possibly be an area in your life where there's been a death, where there's been a tragedy, where something terrible has happened? Maybe like Martha, you sent word to Jesus and you said, "Lord, please will you come? I know that you can do miracles." But by the time the Lord got there, it was too late. And you were saying, "Lord, where were you? Why didn't you come? If you'd been here, this wouldn't have happened." Maybe he's been in the tomb for 4 days. Maybe the situation is completely beyond all hope. But I'd like to encourage you that perhaps there's a situation in your life that seems beyond all hope, that seems like the body's been in the tomb for 4 days. It's decomposing. But I'd like to encourage you with the fact that God is able to raise the dead. This whole passage, Jesus is talking about God getting glory, and a resurrection gets more glory than simply a healing. Jesus at the beginning says, "This sickness is not to end in death, but for the glory of God." What if the situation in your life, death, the seeming death, is not the end, but that God actually wants to use it to bring even more glory to his name than he could have done if he'd simply prevented it? Down at the end here, the last verse that we read was where the Pharisees are saying, "If we let him go on like this, all men will believe in him." And our lives are meant to bring glory to God so that all men may believe in him. So I hope that's encouraging. Talk to the Lord about it. Ponder it today. That's my thought for the day for you. God bless you guys, and I'll see you next time.